How's it going, everyone? Yuki2, Christian Dragoon here, representing Team Trading Card Bros here. Not too long ago, I managed to find time to pick up the new Rise of the True Dragon structure deck, and I'm really looking forward to opening the structure deck on my channel. I've already done opening on the channel by now, but I want to at least give this channel a little bit of an opening and give this channel its fair opportunity to share the glory of opening the structure deck right here. I'm really looking forward to opening the structure deck. The structure deck is just really fun. I'm really looking forward to the potential the structure deck has. I'm really looking forward to see what reprints and what new cards we also got in the structure deck. It's going to be really fun to see what's going on, what's about to be embraced about this. So yeah, let's dig right into this and let's see what we got going on with this bad boy right here. So yeah, of course we have our own little Rise of the True Dragon structure deck. So let's open this bad boy up and see what we get inside. Yeah, that's how you open up a structure deck. Anyways, before I forget, it does tell you what we get in structure deck, but we're gonna open it just to see for ourselves. So this is what we're gonna get. Oops, things were flying everywhere. So we get the box out of the way. So one of the first things we get out of this is we get a little rule book. Hopefully every time we get a structure deck, the rule book does get a little updated, just so we can be fully informed how the new rules and see which rules now been updated and such. So it's always good to know that. I don't need this rule book. I go on Dueling Network, and we have this little card divider, which is pretty much useless, probably not really necessary. And of course, we get the little new game map, of course, like every new structure deck or starter deck we normally get. So we got the new Felgrand starter map, and I believe, yep, actually yes it does. On the back of it, it does give you some tips and combos of how to play this deck properly. I don't know if you can see it fully 100%. Can you? Please tell me you can or not. And here are some cards that the thing also recommends you pick up. So picking up Twin Twister, Soldier Strike is obviously good for almost any deck. Blue Eyes support, because Blue Eyes can go really well with Felgrand, of course. It's also promoting the upcoming set very short too, and it also recommends you buying at least 2 more of these, which luckily I have already done that. And now for the mat itself, and look at this beauty of this mat right here. This looks really beautiful right here. I love how Felgrand just shines right out and such, and all the columns look really nice. The only thing I do not like about these is I'm not liking how the extra deck graveyard extra deck field spell, deck zone, and graveyard columns are kind of cut out a little bit, just to push in those pendulums, which I'm not really a big fan of. Now, not that I'm disliking pendulums, I'm just disliking the fact that they cut out all these zones, just putting these 2 zones. Like, if they're gonna do that, they need to make these mats a little bit bigger, just so we can have a full-on, bigger zone for our decks, graveyards, field, and extra deck. That's just my pet peeve about this stuff. Anyways, so of course, the final thing we get, of course, is the structure deck itself. And let's open this bad boy up. Let's see all its full glory. Now, I believe there's a way you can open this without going too. Yep, there it is. You gotta rub it out a little bit. No pun intended. Yeah, there we go. Nope. Sometimes you gotta fight. You know, one thing I want to point out is I kind of like how these things. You can open these up kind of like how you would open up a pack of cigarettes. Remember, kids, buy a pack of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and you might learn how to open up a pack of cigarettes. Good job, Konami, pushing kids, helping smoke companies push kids smoking. Alright, so anyways, jokes aside, now we have the structured deck itself. Now here we are, we have the Arc Brave Dragon, which is pretty much the next evolution of Dark Blaze Dragon, which looks really nice. I really love the gloss out of this artwork, and it's got really nice effects where it's special from the graveyard. You can banish all face-up spells, trash your opponent controls, and gains 200 for each of them. And during the standby phase, after this card hits the graveyard, you can also special summon a level 7 or 8 dragon from the graveyard, except for another one of it, which is a very powerful ability. Not only is best for obviously the Felgrand stuff, but Red Eyes and Blue Eyes are both level 7 8 dragons reliant. So this card could definitely see a lot of play in those kind of decks very well. Now I'm really surprised Felgrand's at the front cover of the deck, because Felgrand is the more focused card that people want to go after the most, but yet they put this card for this card. What are you trying to do, Konami? What are you trying to do? Anyways, that aside. And we have, of course, the new Divine Dragon Lord Felgrand, which looks so beautiful, looks so awesome. And its effects are amazing too. When special in the graveyard field, you can banish a monster your opponent controls or in the graveyard, and you can burn. And not burn. And this card gains 100 attack defense for each rank or level that monster had. And when this card destroys a monster battle, special summon any level 7 or 8 dragon from your graveyard, from either player's graveyard to your side field, except for another one of it. So if you're playing like some sort of mirror match, you could literally steal your opponent's dragons and use them against them, which is just a very powerful ability to have with you. Such so, Felgrand is so awesome. And then we got the Dragon Knight of Creation. This was originally a Shonen Jump promo. And it's just so amazing seeing this card reprint in structure deck because it makes things so much easier. For those of you who don't know, on my channel, I have ran on how Konami needs to start working on things for the younger and newer players just as much as their modern, competitive, current players such equally. And seeing this card reprint for anyone to be able to get their hands on makes things a lot more easier fair for everybody else. And this card is a really great card too. It becomes level 8 during your opponent's turn, and I believe you can pitch a card to special summon a level 7 or 8 dragon for graded field, which is just a really nice powerful ability. And yeah, now it probably won't see much play as a Felgrand Blue Eyes deck unless it's more Felgrand focus and Blue Eyes focus, but it definitely does have some very nice potential here and there, and it's just a really great card in general. So yeah. And we have one of the new spell cards that was made in this. We have the Ruins of the Divine Dragon Lord, which is pretty much a mean skill drain for your opponent, which is just evil, as long as you control the 8 dragon, all that good such. And it also has abilities where you can pop out dragon tokens as well. So it combos off with your new Paladin Felgrand monsters, which I'll get to very shortly, very well. It's just a really great card in general. I really like this card a lot. And of course, the main focus card that I think a lot of people are more interested in most, besides the Felgrand, and that is the Return of the Dragon Lords, which was originally called Gospel Revival. This card is just amazing. It's literally a monster reborn for any level 7 or 8 dragon, and whenever all dragons about to be destroyed, whether by battle, card effect, whatever, you can just banish this from your graveyard and save your dragons, or dragons, I should say, from being destroyed, which is just a really great, powerful ability. I like this card. I love this card in general, and I'm very glad I was able to pick it up. And now for the only 2 new cards that are not foiled out. So we'll put these real quick before we talk about the reprints. Let's talk about the last 2 new cards. So the last two new cards we got is, I was talking about earlier, the Paladin Felgrand. What he does is, when he's normal summoned in the field, you can equip one level 7 or 8 dragon type monster from your hand or deck to this card, and you can also send one face up card and him to the graveyard to to the graveyard to special summon a level 7 or 8 dragon from your graveyard to the field. So as I mentioned earlier about Ruins, it combos out with Ruins because if you use this card's effect to equip yourself, let's say Felgrand, and then use Ruins effect to pop your own Felgrand to special summon a token, you can use this guy's effect to send himself and your token in the graveyard to get out your Felgrand and go off with some really nice, huge, powerful combos right there. It's a really nice card in general, and I just really like this card very much. And the last final new card is going to be the Guardian of Felgrand, which is pretty much just like exactly as Paladin, only except its stats are kind of weaker and it's kind of equipment reliant in order for its stuff to be good. I definitely see people are going to be playing the Paladin more often than the Guardian. Not that the Guardian is bad at all, but I just feel like the Paladin would be a much better card because Paladin pretty much does exactly what Guardian does. So there may not be really that much point in playing Guardian, but I do think you should keep Guardian close to you, just in case, because you never know when you come to a situation where Guardian could see play and could be good. So, good card in general. One more thing I want to point out about these 2 warriors I just mentioned right here is that with them being warriors, any dragon deck that takes these guys in can now have excuse to be able to play Reinforcement Army, which is one of the most generic searchable cards in the game currently, which is a really nice card, which is really nice to keep in mind. And now everything else is just reprints. Some of them are meh, but the rest of them are like really great. So the first reprint we got is the Felgrand Dragon, the original Felgrand Dragon. Wow, this brings back so much nostalgia, dude. Now obviously this card is definitely not going to see a lot of competitive play, but it is really cool to pick this up for a lot of casual plays and just good for nostalgia reasons. Oh my god, this card brings back so much nostalgia, and it's just a really fun card in general. So yeah, I really like this Felgrand. And then we have the Dark Blaze Dragon I was talking about earlier. Dark Blaze Dragon. This card is just it's a really nice, decent card in general. It just all it does is its stats become double with special from graveyard, and it gets piercing damage, all that good such. It's again just like the Felgrand card. We definitely don't see this card. We'll definitely see too many competitive play, but just like the Felgrand, it is nice to pick this card up for nostalgia reasons, and it's just a really cool looking card in general. I really love the artwork, and I love to see how this card was originally Fire Monster before it became a Light Monster. That's just so cool. And now next up we have the Herald of Creation. This was also a nostalgic card, and this was also fun too at the time. And even right now, this card could actually see a decent amount of plays here and there. It just has a really nice effect where you can pitch a card to add a level 7 or 8 level 7 or higher monster from graveyard to field, or graveyard to your hand, excuse me. And it just has a nice effect because, let's say you need a trainable card, or you need a discard card, outlet, whatever such. And this card just happens to utilize abilities like that. Not to mention, you have cards like Archbrave Dragon that go off when they hit the graveyard and such. So this card will also combo off with cards like that. So, and it's got 18 attacks, so it's not terrible at stats too, and level 4, so maybe 4 plays. So all in all, even in today's game, Herald of Creation may not be so bad. And speaking of some odd cards for nostalgia, we have Decoy Dragon, which is actually a really cool reprinting card. There has been some complicated rulings about Decoy Dragon, and I'm not too sure if any rulings about him has been updated, but he is still a fun card in general. Just the fact that he can allow you to get your Felgrand Archbrave back so easily back. It's just a really fun card, and he has 300 attack and 200 defense, which is just fun and hilarious. Seeing something like this can bring back something big out of nowhere where you can just make some really fun, big, huge plays right there. So, really like Decoy Dragon. Decoy reprint is always really nice right here. And here is some really big, nice nostalgia / really awesome reprint for any drag deck. We also got a reprint of Red MD, aka Red Shark's Metal Dragon. Every time I hear an announcement that this card is going to get reprinted to a common, I always slightly worry about it because I always fear that the artwork of this card is going to be not as great as the original one. I always fear how the artwork of this guy is going to work out, but shockingly, the artwork of Red D actually looked pretty good. I am happy with how it turned out, and I'm really happy with how it looks in general. And yeah, and this just brings like a lot of nostalgia reasons because when I first got in the game, my first competitive deck was a Disaster Dragon, and obviously 3 Red Ds was the way to go with Disaster Dragon at the time. This just brings like a lot of nostalgia for Dragon players for me, especially for those of us who played a Disaster Dragon as best. And speaking of something that reminds us of Disaster Dragon, we also got a reprint of Red Eyes Wyvern. For those of you who do not know what Red Eyes Wyvern was, as long as you have not made a normal summon or set this turn, during the end phase, you can banish it from your graveyard to special summon any Red Eyes monster except for Red Eyes Chick. So obviously, as you can tell, your go-to play for Disaster Dragon or any deck that would use Red MD and a Dragon deck is you would use Wyvern's effect to obviously bring back your Red MD, and then next turn your Red MDs would just constantly keep on spamming out your Dragons. And this is just fun for nostalgia reasons, and this is just really cool because I don't think we've ever got Red Wyvern as a reprint as a common, at least not like this, at least as far as I can tell. And just seeing this in the structured deck just brings a tear to my eye of joy for nostalgia reasons. I'm really glad seeing Red Wyvern back like this and such. So yeah. And some other cool level 8 dragons we also got. We also got a White Knight Dragon reprint. I still remember the first time I ever pulled a secret rare one from its original pack. Also, this brings back nostalgia. And it's just a fun card in general, too. It also has effects where it's unaffected by spells and traps, and you can potentially make this card the attack target by just getting rid of a face-up spell trap card. Now, this was also a fun card I used to tech in Disaster Dragon. Now, while it wasn't my favorite build with King Disaster, like using this guy right here, he was still a fun card to play with Disaster, because for those of you who do not know how Disaster was, one of the key cards of Disaster was bring out Quackmere Drago, so you can stop your opponent from dropping like dark monsters. And with this guy being a water monster, you were still able to drop big, huge, powerful monsters without Quackmere Drago interrupting your plays. And this was a really nice, fun tech card at the time, and it was just fun what you could do with White Knight Dragon at the time. So, White Knight Dragon, really nice to see this card as a reprinted. And next level 8 dragon, we also got a Darkstorm Dragon, which is an okay card. It is a bummer that's a Gemini monster, so its abilities will be kind of a little complicated to use every here and there. But when you do use it, you do get the ability to destroy your opponent's entire back row, which is just really nice, huge. So yeah, Darkstorm is just really nice right here. I think he was also reprinted in the Blue Eye Saga structure deck. Don't quote me, I could be wrong. And next up, we have Arm Protector Dragon, which is an okay dragon, I guess. It's not really good unless you're playing cards that rely on equipped cards. And as far as I know, I don't think the structure deck comes with anything that has equipped cards. So I'm not 100% sure why Konami would reprint this in the structure deck, knowing that there's nothing you can utilize with this card, but I digress. And that's it for the big dragons. Now for the little dragons, we have the Evil Storm Sarka, which is a really nice, interesting tech card, which pretty much allows you to pop stuff every time a face-up card your opponent controls is destroyed. If a face-up card you control is destroyed by opponent's card effect or by battle, instead of the graveyard, target one special level 5 higher monster field, destroy it. So again, it's a nice card that's good against mirror matches, and it's also a nice card for teching in when you want to deal with those big decks that drop out those big monsters right there. And here is one of my more favorite reprints. We also got Eclipse Wyvern, which is just an amazing reprint for this right here. When it's first in the graveyard, you can banish a light or dark level 7 or higher monster, so obviously Arc Braid for Felgrand, and then you can banish this card to add that banished monster to go into your hand. So this allows you to do a lot of utility plays with your searches and here and there, and this gives you the opportunity to do some really nice Chaos Felgrand plays if you're one of those people who are into that. And speaking of Chaos monsters, we also got a reprint of White Dragon Whitebuster and Black Dragon Cold Server, which is just a really amazing reprinted dragons. Both being level 4s, they both give you access to rank 4 Exceed spam, with them being brought out very easily. They can easily be used for banish required costs for your MDs. And also, what's really nice about these is that when this dies, you can get out this, and when this guy dies, you can get out this, which is just really cool when you can do stuff like that. Excuse me. And next up, a nice reprint that the structure deck really needed was the One Keeper Shrine, which is just a really nice reprint because this is all dragon deck, and he also has ability where if dragon dies, you can special him from hand or graveyard, so it helps you out right there. He's 21 wall that comes out nowhere to do that, and he also has the ability where you can tribute him for a dragon type monster that requires 2 tributes, and he counts as the entire tribute. So this helps out so many decks right there out of nowhere. And the last dragon reprint, we have the One Kinmodo Dragon. This was an underrated card. So many people underestimate this card. Just like some of the other things I said before, this was also a kind of cool tech card I tried out in my Disaster Dragon deck at one point. I'm not taking credit for it. Other people have beat me to the point, of course. But Kinmodo Dragon was just a really nice card that a lot of people underestimated. It just has a really nice ability where if this card dies, you can special summon a dragon from hand and field out of nowhere. With the only downfall is that you cannot go in the battle phase to turn your active effect. So obviously this was your best card. This was best when either A, you went out during your opponent's turn, or B, you set a phase, or B, when you needed a big, huge boss monster dragon out of nowhere in order to do things. Like, perfect example, the Felgrand. So you can use Felgrand to do stuff here and there. So Kinmodo Dragon, which is a really fun card. I kind of wish we got Debris Dragon as well, because this card used to combo with Debris Dragon Black Rose very well, but we didn't get Black Rose, so it does make sense that we don't get Debris Dragons. But I digress. And since we are playing a deck that relies on graveyard, it does make sense we do have a mill engine. So we have a card trooper, which is just a really amazing reprint right here. You can mill 3, he gains 500 for each, and you draw one when he dies, which is always nice. And we even got some Light Sworn. So for Light Sworns, we get the one Jane, the one Monk, and one of my personal favorite reprints of the Light Sworns, obviously a lot like everyone else's, is the one Raiden. When I first saw that Raiden was going to get reprinted, I was very shocked, and seeing a Raiden reprint just brings joy to me, because this is a very powerful Light Sworn, and this is a Light Sworn that was actually kind of high value for only being a structure deck exclusive card at the time, and seeing this card being reprinted makes things a lot easier now. And that's it for the monsters. Finally, now we're going to go through the spells. For the spells, we have the one Dragon's Ravine that allows us to dump our dragons to the graveyard as fast as we can. The one Wing Beat of Giant Dragon that allows us to bounce back a high level dragon so we can destroy our opponent's back row. The one Trade-In, as I kept on mentioning, so we can draw 2. The one Foolish Burial, so we can dump a monster from a deck of graveyards. I'm kind of surprised we didn't get a Dragon Shrine. Like, I kind of feel like Dragon Shrine would have been a better reprint than this card, to be honest. That's just my opinion. The one Hand Destruction, so we can pitch 2 cards to draw 2, make our opponent do the same thing as well. And speaking of the Rota, we said earlier, we also got the one reinforcement army, the one warrior return alive, so we can do stuff with our warriors. The one charge light brigade, because we are getting light swarms, and this happens to help out light swarms very well. And also help out with our military engine as well. And the one terraforming, so we can search out our Dragon's Ravine. And that is it for the spell lineup. Now for the trap lineup, we're also getting. For the trap lineup, we have the one Dragon's Rebirth, which allows you to banish a dragon you control. The special dragon from hand or graveyard to the field. The one Burst Breath, which is pretty much like a weird version of a Turtle Tribute for dragons, which is amazing. One Needlebug Nest, which allows us to mill 5 from our own decks. Again, it's a graveyard reliant deck, so we kind of want this. The one Breakthrough Skill Reprint, which is just a very nice card, which is pretty much 2 effect feathers in one. You can activate it to negate a monster effect, then during turn, and then next turn you can banish it from graveyard during your turn, of course, to negate a monster effect, which is just insane. And then again, more graveyard reliant stuff. We have the one Call Haunted for obvious reasons, and the one Oasis of Dragon Souls. Oasis is just a really fun card. It is weird that we're getting a Warhammer support card, but we don't care if the Felgrand we brought back with this card becomes a worm type or not, because that Felgrand is going to come out, he's going to banish something, and then when our turn comes, that Felgrand is going to come out, keep on constantly beat down stuff, and his effect will keep on bringing back dragons anyway. So, Oasis Dragon Souls is actually a pretty interesting reprint nonetheless. And finally, to conclude this, we have the Dragon Lord token we actually got from this, and it actually looks very phenomenal. Look at the artwork of this; it just looks really nice. I love how the light glosses off the top of the statue here. It's just really nice looking card. And now, for the record, it is common rare, of course, but it just looks like a nice. It looks like a really nice glow right here, and I'm really looking forward to playing this token more often. It's just really nice. And yeah, that right there was the opening of the Rise of the True Dragon structure deck. Really happy that we got this structure deck. Can't wait to do so many things with it. On my channel, Christian Dragoon, I'll be doing a lot of experiments with this deck. For those of you who want to check the channel out, I'll leave the link in the description down below. I'll be doing a lot of crazy experiments with these guys. I'll be doing some cool things here and there. I do have some ideas. Obviously, pure Felgrand, Felgrand Blue Eyes. I definitely want to try out Felgrand Red Eyes. I also want to try out Felgrand. What was the other one? Felgrand Red Eyes, Blue Eyes. Oh yeah, Felgrand Dragoonies. There's some lot of ideas I'm definitely going to be trying out with this. And thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this video. And with that being said, I'm out. Peace.